Hello, Fundraising Next community, and welcome to the latest Leo's Book Club. This week, Leo is going to be reviewing Donors for Life, which is a practitioner's guide to relationship fundraising by Craig Linton and Paul Steen. And there is a foreword there from someone I think we know very well, which I'm sure Leo will let you know. I am going to let Leo summarise this book and jump back in with some questions for Leo very shortly. Leo, over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, look, the book I'm reviewing is called Donors for Life, a practitioner's guide to relationship fundraising by Craig Linton and Paul Steen. Forward is by Ken Burnett. It's actually published by White Lion Press, which used to be owned by Ken Burnett. What I find just great about this book is that it's a practical book on applying the principle of relationship fundraising to fundraising, and it's because both Craig and Paul are both practicing fundraisers and been practicing fundraising for many years, and there's just so much information in there on how to apply the principle or the philosophy of relationship fundraising and how to apply that into practice. There's so many great ideas, and certainly I think if you're serious about relationship fundraising, really believe in it, this is a book that is worth reading, and you'll get lots of really great ideas of how you can apply this very important philosophy to your own fundraising practice.
Wonderful. Thank you, Leo. I think so when you say practical, I know I've read a few of Ken's books, and quite often at the chapter ends, there are, he kind of summarizes it in points that you can almost work through with your team, where you can say, okay, are we doing this, this, and this? Is this a similar kind of book?
No, it's actually a book where it goes example after example after example of fundraising, application of fundraising, relationship fundraising to practice. Just a very quick example here, looking at Cancer Research UK, looking at how they used to do their letters to lapsed donors. So you've got the original version of it, and then it's applying the principles of relationship fundraising. It shows you the revised version of how they applied the practice. So it's just full of those kind of practical examples. And one of the things that I do like, for example, in this book, early on page 21, it's called the Relationship Fundraising Declaration. And as a fundraiser, I know that the causes I work for and represent are dependent on me to raise money they need to change the world. It's a big responsibility and one that I take seriously and commit to do to the best of my ability. As a fundraiser, I promise to uphold the following to the best of my ability and judgment. And then gives 10 points that you declare that you uphold in practice. And I just love that.
Reminds me of the pledge I used to make at Brownies.
Yes, that sort of thing. Exactly. And the other thing I like about this too is that, for example, in the beginning, it talks about how there's bad fundraising done, and they pull no punches.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, hang on, whoa, that's very. I mean, I totally. I mean, yes, I totally understand, I totally agree, but boy, they didn't pull any punches about saying it, and they really have a go at some, particularly fundraisers who don't really practice fundraising, who basically, for example, move from organisation to organisation to organisation and are not committed to a cause. Anyway, so it's very good.
Truth there, but that's how we learn, isn't it?
That is, absolutely.
Fabulous. And is it a book you need to read from beginning to end, Leo, or is it can you jump chapter to chapter?
Well, you could go that because, yeah, but in my view, um, just about every chapter has a practical
Yeah.
application that either you can look at, are we, do we match what we're doing with what is being said here, or are we falling short? For example, there's a whole section here on the donor journey, and again, using an example of an organization, and it's basic, and this is RLSB, which I think is for Royal LSB.
Life saving? No,
Well,
no, it's
yeah,
that.
I'm not sure, but they show what their first approach
Mhm.
of it, which was basically donation, thank you, donation, thank you, donation, to moving that to now applying principles of relationship fundraising to the donor journey. And all of a sudden, it's not quite, it's very different.
Mhm.
So, for example, donor donates, automatic thank you, phone call and video email, feedback on card, ask phone first choice, and then a reminder. So it's
Mhm.
completely changed there. And again, just example after example of applying relationship fundraising into practice. And I think yes, you can go chapter by chapter, but I also think it's a way in which you can take your whole
Yeah.
fundraising plan and activity
Yeah.
and use this as a bit of a benchmark for
Mhm.
you. How well are we doing against what what are considered good relationship fundraising practice?
Yes.
There,
Yeah. And when was this book published, Leo?
I was published in 2017.
Oh, so yeah, in terms of relationship fundraising, it's a very recent
It's
and
fairly
relevant.
recent, but I also think a lot of the material here does not go out of date.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But yes, it's particularly around that donor journeys. I think it's nice to see. I think I know. When you mentioned email and something else there, I realised that must be a newer book. When you are
Yes,
looking at that, and I think that's always helpful, isn't it?
yes, and it covers so many different things. So, for example, legacy fundraising is covered in this. How do people really make decisions? Rekindling friendships, and that's obviously for lapsed donors. Community fundraising, Friends for Life, welcoming and keeping donors. Solve the 7 elements in action for outstanding donor recruitment campaigns. 7 elements of successful donor recruitment. Creating a culture of relationship fundraising. So there's just a lot of, I mean, as you see here, Mark, just pretty well the whole book.
Wonderful. And I know you've written a short summary in this book, which we will attach to this video when it is published. And do we have any insights into the next book? What's your next book?
Not yet.
Not yet. You guys will have to wait for that.
Oh, I will surprise you all. No,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Return of Leo's Book Club, and we're delighted to have Leo back and reviewing books for us. We know Leo is a huge book lover, and books are super important. And to be able to have a few pointed out for you on your Freedom Friday, now that we have launched this campaign, what am I going to do on my 2 hours? Well, if you don't know, you can start by reading Leo's suggestions of books. We hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, thank you very much, Leo. We will check in with you next month for Leo's Book Club.
Great. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye.